Peter Tompkins in his book, Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramids, when he was talking about the Spanish Inquisition, he has a woodcut picture in there. And it says, the caption of it, it says, in anticipation or to deter opposition for the Inquisition, in New Spain, 34 Negroes were hanged and decapitated in Mexico City.
Wow.
So that's crazy. So first of all, it's like, wait a minute. That presumes a couple things. It presumes that there were people in the New World in significant enough numbers to cause some problems about something happening on the other side of the pond.
We're already here.
See, this is amazing stuff, you know, and you know, even like with the invention of or the discovery of hair follicle testing. And then they ran some tests on Egyptian pharaohs, and what did they find? Cocaine. The only place you could find it on the planet.
South America.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it showed for at least 10,000 years there was cross-cultural pollination across the Atlantic.
There's no doubt about it.
There you go.
The Olmecs came from Africa down into South America and helped build that entire Teotihuacan civilization.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Once again, and you've been down there, you've seen these things, and again, these are things, these are legacies of technology that can't be duplicated today. So it was a mindset that was on the scene that could produce these things. So back to what you said about, you know, we would have been on the moon. Right? There was a German or Austrian national by the name of Rudolph von Sebottendorf. Rudolph von Sebottendorf was a veteran of World War I. World War I, you know, Germany took a beating. And that, because of that beating, is what gave rise to extreme German nationalism, which gave rise to Nazism.
Right.
Well, he had some friends in secret orders that introduced him to a very secretive order in Istanbul, Turkey, called the Bektashi Sufis, Islamic order. He joins them. He learns their secrets, returns back to Germany, and starts his own secret society based on what he learned. And that was the Thule Society.
That's huge.
Okay, so you already see the connection, especially with exotic technologies. Because now you have the Thule and then the Vril Society. Right?
Vril Orsic.
Okay, you already know. You already know.
That's great. Tell him.
That's right. So Maria Orsic is how the German Workers' Party, which later became the Nazi Party, and the German Workers' Party is the political arm of the Thule Society. So it's through her channeling. It's through her channeling that they received technology, blueprints, and schematics for their anti-gravity program.
Incredible schematics and technology. Engineering like no other, all channeled, written down on paper, and then actually put into real engineers' hands to replicate.
That's literally what happened. And so this is powerful because, of course, because it was channeled, the presumption is aliens. See, now we have to rethink what even the alien thing means, right? So there's this scientist by the name of Hal Puthoff. You familiar with Hal?
I know Hal,
He wrote a paper not too long ago called Ultraterrestrial Models.
That was my next question. Right here. Next question on that.
So those in the know, especially in the intelligence communities, rather than use the word extraterrestrial, use ultraterrestrial, because the travel is far less of an issue of physical distance. The travel is vibratory from one dimension to another. Right? And so that's more accurate. That is more accurate. But back with Maria Orsic, the presumption is, green men from Mars, right? Instead of ultra-terrestrials, beings that, you know, from a terrestrial perspective, were probably here longer than us on Earth. They're homegrown. You know, and that's a big, big secret. You know,
huge. I mean, there's a lot of there is not a lot. There's some evidence of this. There's things like the Ubaid culture coming out of Mesopotamia, which is now modern day Iraq and Turkey. Where they discovered these hundreds of statuettes of the Ubaid people who look like reptiles.
Yeah, so we're the thing with the term ultra-terrestrial as opposed to extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
Extraterrestrial implies movement within 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
Right? It implies movements within 3 dimensions. But now, of course, quantum mechanics and quantum physics inform us that there are multiple dimensions,
Yes.
multiple levels of experience. It's way more than just 3D. So the behavior of UAPs, the behavior of a number of beings that have been encountered, give evidence that, okay, these things aren't happening just on 3D. These things are coming down to 3D. So the travel is more of a thing of not altitude, but amplitude.
Boom.
You know what I mean?
They know the frequency to enter this dimension.
Come on. Exactly. Yeah. And so that opens up literally a whole new physics. It opens up a whole new physics, a whole new way of thinking. And once again, the powers that be, just like, what Nikola Tesla ran into, right? The powers that be are like, yeah, but if we let that be known, that's the end of us.
Yeah.
That's the end of our money. It's the end of our fortune. You're talking literally new world, or you're talking literally the hereafter from a religious term, the post-disclosure reality. Nobody pays for food.
Right.
Nobody pays for gas. Nobody pays for power. That changes everything.
Yeah, everything's shifted.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so there's the kibosh on disclosure, but with this whole thing with ultra-terrestrials, Hal Puthoff in his paper, Ultra-Terrestrial Models, he literally speaks to this. He's like, we're talking about the intelligence behind the UAP phenomena, UFO phenomena. It could be extraterrestrial, but not extraterrestrial in the sense of some alien beings coming to Earth. Like there's something so interesting about Earth, right? And they're so more far advanced. He's looking at it that from an external perspective, or an extraterrestrial perspective, Earth, they were homegrown Earthlings from a previous time,
right?
From a previous cycle,
that
went out to the stars and are returning home.
Wow,
you see,
a lot of sense too.
Absolutely.
If you understand Einstein's theory of relativity,
yes,
if their technology was such that they would obtain a percentage of the speed of light moving away from the Earth to go explore, the galaxy,
yes,
then time would slow down for them.
You got it.
But our time, tens of years would go by, depending on how long they were gone. It could even be hundreds of years. It could even be thousands of years, depending on how far they went out away from us. And then on their return back, they may have only aged maybe 20, 30 years.
Come on now.
But for us, generations have passed.
Us generations. Now, that what you just said, brother, brings me back to something that we teach in our religious organization, which I'm convinced that, a serious study of our faith tradition and the doctrines of our faith tradition is literally side training. It's side training. So one of the first things we're given by the founder of the organization, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, to study is time. The very first sentence in our religious literature, in the very first chapter, says this: time never was when man was not.
Wow. Yeah.
So just the contemplation of the statement is an initiation, because now you have to force your consciousness to think outside of time.
Right. Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, mind outside of time.
That's right. And so now you don't see something as time as a trap that you're trapped in, but you see time as an object that you can manipulate.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
They attempt to realize that time doesn't exist, clocks exist.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
The movie, one of my favorite movies, Lucy.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Man, they dropped so many jewels in that movie, man. They were talking about, how does existence come about? And she literally said it. She says, time justifies existence.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Time justifies existence, and time is motion. That's why we say, in physics, space-time. 3 dimensions of space, 1 dimension of time.
Right.
Because without one, you don't have the other.
Right, right.
And space is determined by what? Distance. And distance implies motion.
Right.
Motion creates time.
Exactly.
We
need that construct of that arrow.
There you go.
Yeah, so we can navigate this realm.
Absolutely.